discussing about nuclear energy. Here, this we are classifying into two categories. One is taken as nuclear fission process, nuclear fission. Other one is taken as nuclear fusion process. So we have fission process and fusion process here. So coming to the fission process, the nuclear reaction in which the nucleus of heavier elements splits into two or more smaller nuclei. That means heavy nucleus will split into two or more smaller lighter nuclei. This is called as fission. This is called as fission process. That means heavier nuclei splitting into lighter nuclei is called fission process. And fusion process means the lighter nuclei, the light nuclei, they will try to combine and they are forming a heavy nucleus. So this is why these things are happening like that, means to attain stability. Always all the unstable nucleus want to attain stability. For that process, they are selecting according to their categories. They are selecting in two process. One is fission, other one is fusion. Fission means splitting of heavy nucleus. This heavy nucleus split into middle mass number nuclei to attain stability, and lighter nuclei they combine to form heavier nucleus to attain stability. Like that, we are going to discuss about two process. One is fission, other one is fusion. So here fission means when we are observing here, so we can discuss the fission process in the controlled way. Generally, it is useful. This fission is a process. What we are doing, we will be doing in an atomic reactor, and we can produce electricity, and even for bombs, preparing atom bombs, nuclear weapons, they will be using this fission process. Generally, this fusion process we observe in stars, sun. We are getting the energy from them by nuclear fusion process. Nuclear fusion process. Now, let us start first our journey with fission. Fission process. We are starting our journey with fission process. So, our target nuclear fission. So nuclear fission means simply we can say a heavy nucleus. Heavy nucleus splits into lighter nuclei. So smaller nuclei, not lighter, comparably smaller nuclei. Suppose I have taken for example uranium 23592. This is a heavy nucleus. It is unstable. So to attain stability, what we are doing means we are making this one bombard with a neutron, slow moving neutron. We bombard this one with a slow moving neutron. Then what will happen means here, when it's bombarded, the heavy nucleus is there. The heavy nucleus is there. When a neutron came and bombarded this uranium 235 neutron, what happens means now it is emitting two products, byproducts. One is barium, krypton. These two are middle mass numbers. Middle mass numbers. So now what happened here? Neutron came, slow moving neutron came and bombarded with uranium 235. After bombarding, we are getting here barium and krypton. Along barium and krypton, we are also getting here three neutrons. Three neutrons we are observing better here. In this process, the amount of energy is also released. Large amount of energy is also released. That energy we are using for different purpose. So now, first of all, uranium 235 bombarded with neutron. What we are going to observe means here two things I told. One is barium, other one is krypton. So observe carefully here. Barium mass number 141, krypton mass number 92. So these are middle mass number nuclei. Middle mass number nuclei are more stable. So if you observe our uranium 235 heavier mass number is less stable. So now it splits into two comparable middle mass number nuclei, comparable middle mass number nuclei, so that it is attaining stability. So here along with the barium and krypton, you observe carefully here, neutron came and bombarded with uranium-235. We got barium, krypton, along 3 neutrons. Here what are these things? Neutrons, 3 neutrons. Totally how many neutrons we are getting? 3 neutrons we are getting, neutrons. So here, this is the reaction what we found. Uranium-235 bombarded with a slow-moving neutron. We are getting the products barium and krypton. Along with that, 3 neutrons with some energy. So this is the nuclear equation I can write. So now in this reaction, here what is happening here? Some energy is released. So here what will happen means the main point to be noted here, in fission of uranium, whenever we do this process, in fission of uranium, if you observe uranium, nearly about 0.1%, 0.1% of mass of reactants, 0.1% of mass of reactants is converted into energy. In here, what happened means some reactants mass has been converted into energy. That is the reason here we find mass defect. Already we discussed in our last class about mass defect. The mass defect here in these equations we'll find it as 0.214 AMU. Some reactants mass has been converted in the form of energy. That mass defect I can write it as 0.214 AMU. Now, what is energy corresponds to this one? Energy released per fission. So now our target is to find energy released per fission. Energy, what we can say here, how much it is released in one fission means what we can say. Energy released per fission. Einstein mass energy relation says that equal to delta mc square, or we also can write it as delta m into 931.5 MeV. Like that also we can write. So now delta m 0.214, delta m we got 0.214 into 931.5, you multiply. So finally, what is the energy I am getting in one fission means it is nearly equal to I can write 200 MeV. Not exactly equal, really equal to 200 MeV energy is released in one fission process. In one fission process, 200 MeV is released. So like that, we are observing in this process. Here, one more important point to be noted that so for this undergoing that uranium-235, we have to move with the neutron. The bombardment has to be done with neutron. The neutron, the fast neutrons, if you observe, fast neutrons, whose kinetic energy, whose kinetic energy is nearly equal to 1 MeV. So here, what happened in the fission with the fast neutrons, whose kinetic energy are how much? Nearly 1 MeV. Whereas uranium-235 undergoes fission with a bombardment with only not this much fast. Uranium bombardment must be done. Bombardment must be done not with that much fast neutrons. They must be required only kinetic energy is nearly equal to 0.025 energy. So this much little energy is required here. 0.025 energy is required. We can't take the energy of 1 MeV. Very less amount of energy required for having this process, and such neutrons are also called as thermal neutrons. We call them as thermal neutrons. Slow neutrons are called thermal neutrons. For this process to occur, we require very less amount of energy required for kinetic energy of neutrons. That is just 0.025 eV we can say. So that much as slow they has to move and bombard, then only we can observe nuclear fission process. Okay, then now let us see the two important things here. That is, one is nuclear chain reaction. When you observe the nuclear chain reaction, we can discuss in two ways. One is uncontrolled chain reaction. Uncontrolled chain reaction and uncontrolled chain reaction. Other one is controlled chain reaction. So we are discussing about two types. One is uncontrolled, other one is controlled chain reaction. This controlled chain reaction means you will be doing this one in nuclear reactors. This one will do in the nuclear reactors. And this one means uncontrolled, like a bomb. So nuclear bombs, if you drop, that means if you do uncontrolled, they can blast to very large extent and so much destruction will take place. Because of uncontrolled, we can say simply destruction. Control chain reaction, we are making the things, then what will happen? We can use for construction purposes. So if it is uncontrolled, it is very dangerous. So what is the uncontrolled chain reaction and what is controlled chain reaction? Now we are going to observe. First, let us observe about uncontrolled chain reaction. Uncontrolled chain reaction. So here, when we have to observe the uncontrolled chain reaction, observe carefully here. First one, neutron is there. The neutron is coming and bombarding with uranium-235. Uranium-235. From here, what happened means we got barium and we got krypton. And along with barium and krypton, we are getting here three neutrons. So three neutrons. First we will analyze what is uncontrolled, then how to make it controlled. We will analyze the two things better. Now uncontrolled chain reaction. So that is first what happened, what we did here, we have taken one neutron and bombarded uranium-235. Automatically I told you that barium krypton, along with that we are getting three neutrons. How many neutrons we are getting? Three neutrons. These three neutrons, what will happen? Again they will move forward, again they'll move forward, and again they are going to strike uranium-235. Uranium-235. So if they strike this uranium-235 now, what will happen? Observe carefully better here. So same process will continue. We are getting now barium krypton, three neutrons, barium krypton, three neutrons. Again here also, again what we can observe, barium krypton, three neutrons, barium krypton, three neutrons. So we are getting three neutrons. Here also, what happens here? We are observing from each uranium-235, again we are observing barium krypton. Along with that, we are getting three neutrons. Observe first here, what happened? One neutron bombarded uranium-235. We got three neutrons. Now how many neutrons are there? Three, 9. So again what will happen? Each neutron will go and hit again uranium-235, again barium krypton. In first by one neutron bombarding uranium-235, we got three neutrons. Again each neutron bombarded with one uranium-235, and we are getting in each process three. Now the total number of neutrons became 9. So again each neutron, again they will go and hit other uranium. Again this process will be continue. In first we got 3, second we got 9, again we'll get 27, next we'll get 81. Like that, multiples of 3, it is going on increasing. And once this reaction became very high, like that, going on continuing, it's a very dangerous. The huge amount of energy is released in this process, and finally it leads to blast. So lot of heat energy in every time. Whenever one nuclear fission, we told approximately 200 MeV energy. Again 200 MeV, 200 MeV, 200 MeV, like that. Go on, energy is increasing, increasing, increasing. Finally, it is very dangerous situation. That much heat energy when it is released, it's a very danger. Lot of radiations are emitted, and it leads to destruction. You know the story of Hiroshima, Nagasaki, where the nuclear bombs has dropped. So how much destruction happened till now? The generations are, so many generations are suffering from the medical problems. Still, even that much long back happened, that much effect will be there because of this uncontrolled chain reactions. So that means I want to say, if you use the nuclear bombs, it's very dangerous. Now, coming to here, let us discuss about what is controlled chain reaction. We understood now uncontrolled chain reaction. Now we have to discuss about controlled chain reaction. Controlled chain reaction. So what we can write better? Controlled chain reaction means, let us just 1 minute. In controlled chain reaction, we can say that, let me write here. Here, let's just stuck here. Controlled chain reaction. Okay, no problem now. Yes. Control chain reaction. In control chain reaction means what happened here? First one neutron is going and bombarding with one uranium 235. We are getting here, we told, barium and krypton, barium and krypton. And again we are getting here 3 neutrons. So again, each neutron again what will happen means, again they will go and hit uranium 235. But we are blocking 2 neutrons. We are blocking 2 neutrons. We are allowing only 1 neutron to bombard with uranium 235. Only 1 neutron we are allowing. Again here, barium and krypton will get. So again, barium, krypton, 3 neutrons. If you are absorbing 2 neutrons, allowing only 1 neutron to participate every time in reaction, this type of reaction is called controlled chain reaction. Controlled chain reaction. So every time 2 excess neutrons are absorbed and only 1 neutron is allowed to participate. Here 2 excess neutrons among 3, 2 are absorbed, only 1 allowed. Again we are getting 3 neutrons, 2 are absorbed and only 1 neutron is allowed to participate in this nuclear fission process. So it is happening in one controlled way. It is not increasing as it wish. So in previous, every time it is increasing 3 times. But here it's not like that. So this process we can't do normally here. We need nuclear reactor. I will discuss in next session about nuclear reactor. In nuclear reactor, we'll absorb these neutrons by using control rods. Control rods. That I will discuss in my next topic about nuclear reactor. So we are absorbing these excess neutrons and allowing only 1 neutron to participate in reaction. Only 1 neutron we are allowing to participate in reaction. This is called control chain reaction. This is carried in a nuclear reactor. We'll discuss in a session about that in detail. Now, our intention here is to analyze one important point that is called as neutron multiplication factor. Neutron multiplication factor. So this neutron multiplication factor is also called as reproduction factor. It is also called as reproduction factor. So we are going to discuss about neutron multiplication factor. It is also called as reproduction factor. Now this is denoted by the term K. It is denoted by the term K. So how they are defining this neutron multiplication factor means, it is the ratio of, number of neutrons number of neutrons in present generation. So number of neutrons in present generation 2. Number of neutrons in previous generation. Number of neutrons in present generation to number of neutrons in previous generation. This is the term called K. This term is K. We call it as neutron multiplication factor or reproduction factor. By using this K value, we'll decide what is the state of the nuclear fission. It is the dangerous or the controlled or uncontrolled or stable, or what is the type of reaction it is going on. By the knowing the value of K, we can decide the type of reaction, uncontrolled or controlled chain reaction, or the reaction stops. What is happening, that we are going to explain by knowing the value of K. So here, the K can have three things here. Here we are going to discuss after this. K discussion is made with taking the K value less than 1 in one situation, and K value equal to 1 in one situation, and K value greater than 1 in one situation. So three situations we are discussing here. K less than 1 is called as, K less than 1 is called subcritical. K less than 1 is called subcritical state. And K is equal to 1. K is equal to 1 is called critical state. K greater than 1, we call it as supercritical state. K greater than 1 is called supercritical. So we are discussing three conditions here. The first one is K less than 1. By observing the K values, we observe the K values. Suppose less than 1, we call the state as subcritical. K is equal to 1, we call it as critical state. K greater than 1, we call it as supercritical state. So what is this K value, and how we are discussing the states, and what will happen in each state, we have to analyze now. We have to analyze what is happening in each situation. Let's observe carefully here. First, K less than 1. What is K means? I told number of neutrons in present generation to number of neutrons in previous generation. Let us observe here. What is this K means? So here, uncontrolled reaction. You observe uncontrolled chain reaction. If you observe, suppose what are present, how many are there? 3. Previous, how many are there? 1. So now K value present by previous 3 by 1. Again, if you observe what are present, suppose in this situation present is 9. Previous to this one is how much? Previous to this one is 3. 9 by 3, 3. So this K value is here in this situation is greater than 1. K value is greater than 1. So this reaction, when K value is greater than 1, we call it as uncontrolled chain reaction. Uncontrolled chain reaction. K is greater than 1 means uncontrolled chain reaction. I hope you are clear this one. This uncontrolled chain reaction, K value greater than 1 means it is supercritical state. Supercritical. And control chain reaction. In control chain reaction, what will happen? So, how many are there present? Observe here. Present is 1. Previous also 1. Both are 1, 1. So, present by previous 1. Again, you observe here. Present 1. Previous 1. So, K is equal to 1 by 1. 1. So, K value is 1. We call it as critical state. Critical state. What do you mean by critical state? It is control chain reaction. That means whenever you use the term K is equal to 1, it is called critical state. Critical state. I hope you understood about critical state and supercritical state. So now, whenever you observe subcritical, what we can conclude now? K is equal to, K is first of all less than 1, K is equal to 1, K greater than 1, three things are there. I told K is equal to 1 means I told it as critical state. I told critical state. K greater than 1, I told it is supercritical state. So what is happening here? K greater than 1 means it is uncontrolled chain reaction. And K equal to 1, control chain reaction takes place. We call it as, that is K value is 1 and K less than 1. K less than 1 means rate of reaction decreases. So rate of reaction decreases means it stops. It's going to stop. It is decelerating. This is called as subcritical state. Subcritical, what will happen? Number of neutrons present are less than previous. So slowly it is going to end. So the rate of reaction decreases and going to end is supercritical. It is going in a controlled way, that is control chain reaction, that is called critical. And is going in an uncontrolled way, that is we call it as supercritical. So these are the three types which we discuss for critical, supercritical and subcritical. I hope you are clear with these things. First, today's class, we have started with nuclear energy in two types. That's the fission and fusion. In today's class, we started discussing about nuclear fission, and this is the nuclear reaction what we have got when uranium is bombarded with neutron, barium krypton with 3 neutrons and energy. And again, we discussed about energy in each fission, how much energy is getting, that we explained. After that, we got about, that is we have to select here very slow moving neutrons in nuclear fission process. Those are called thermal neutrons. Slow moving neutrons we have to use. Then after that, we selected nuclear chain reaction. Nuclear chain reaction, two types mainly, uncontrolled and controlled chain reaction. Uncontrolled means every time the reaction is going on increasing in three times the previous is going on increasing. This is called uncontrolled. It causes destruction. So now control chain reaction, for construction purpose we use control chain reaction. This is done in where? We use this reaction in nuclear reactor. We will do this process in nuclear reactor. Control chain reaction. After that, we discussed about the neutron multiplication factor. Here K value, K is called neutron multiplication factor. Number of neutrons in present generation to number of neutrons in previous generation. We classify this K into three categories. That is K is less than 1, K is equal to 1, K greater than 1. K less than 1, it is subcritical. K equal to 1, critical. K greater than 1, supercritical. And we analyze today's topic. I hope you are clear. In our next session, we'll discuss about nuclear reactor and we can complete the nuclear fission process. Thank you, everyone.